Good morning and welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show. The original. Yep. I told somebody that.
The one and only.
Yeah. I told somebody
Nobody does better.
The other day, and he looked at me and he started laughing. He said, "Get down, Loretta Brown." I said, "That's about right." Anyway, this is radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. Thanks so much for joining us. And Benny, I'm happy to see the rain.
I think a lot of us are, especially our state and neighboring states, the wildfires that we need to control. And kudos to all the firefighters, men and women, doing their best to control those. And hope everyone is getting safely into the, back and forth, and hopefully not too many people are losing things. So we need it, but tis the season.
It is the
unfortunately.
season. Yeah. One of my clients was sharing with me that they have a cabin out in the area where there's been fires, and they put prayers and energy all around it, and their place is safe and fine. So, don't back away from doing these sorts of things. They really do work. And then,
No, I was just going to say, just look out for your fellow neighbors too, and don't throw anything out of your car or windows. It's not that important, really, to do, or, shave a few seconds off or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all we have to do is our little bit. And if all of us do our little bit, that's a lot. Yeah, it's just a little bit here and there, a little bit there. Yeah.
Combine your efforts.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area. And and I just want to remind you that we've been in business going on 23 years. I offer a lot of things at Reiki Oasis, and be prepared for some changes coming up, maybe this fall. I've been kind of taking a look at everything that I do. There's going to be new workshops and kind of new ways of offering things.
Ooh.
So I know. Isn't that exciting? I'm working with
Can't
somebody.
say anything about it?
No, it's just better,
such a
bigger,
tease.
better, far-reaching.
All right.
And a lot of the creative things that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time that have been laying on the back burner. So there's going to be some books.
They are now
some
simmering, but no
teachings.
longer simmering.
No longer simmering.
They're coming up to a boil.
They're actually being like, I'm actually doing it.
Oh,
I know.
All right.
Hold on.
So
I know.
Watch out, people. Loretta's coming in strong.
Yeah, I'm kind of a firm believer. I know that's a terrible tease, and people are like, I want it. What is it? And I learned a long time ago that when something is in the creative works, incubate it a little bit, and then when you're ready, bring it out.
There you go.
Yeah. So speaking of some of the things that I do, it's not all about me. It is about you. This Saturday, I have a Reiki 2 workshop. And if you've gone through Reiki 1, this workshop is for you. We have a great, great time. We talk about distance healing. We talk about subtle energy and the connectedness of all that is. So you can still sign up for that at schedule.reikioasis.com, or simply send me an email, call me, text me. You can find my information easily online at reikioasis.com. Reiki Sharing Circle will be Sunday, August 12th at 11:30 a.m., and please come out for Reiki Sharing Circle. There's so much healing needed on the planet right now. And when we work as a group, it's very, very lovely and very powerful. And you will be blessed as well as blessing others. Temple of the Divine Feminine is Saturday, August 18th. This is my monthly class with women. I'd love to have you come out. We're going to be starting a new round of teachings. And, of course, we're going to be doing some work with some of the Egyptian goddesses. And a lot of that's for those people that will be going with me to Egypt, October 25th to November 8th. I have one seat left. If Egypt is calling you, contact me ASAP so that you can get on this amazing spiritual trip with like-minded people. I also want to give a big shout out to my supporters. We are a listener-supported show. And to my patrons, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Every dollar, every blessing, every prayer you send out to this show and the people that are on this show is very much appreciated. Eternal gratitude. You can go to patreon.com/The Loretta Brown Show to find out more about that. And remember, you can schedule everything at schedule.reikioasis.com. Wow, that's a lot of announcements. And one last thank you to Indigo Hawk, my amazing webmaster, because I haven't recognized him for a while, and I need to. Yeah, because he's amazing. So I would like to know, my listeners, are you recovering after the intense lunar eclipse from last Friday? So today we are actually into the second day of August, and things will be a little less intense in August.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
There's rain today, and there's hope.
That's true. You just look outside. We needed the
little, I know, but
mist.
I have to say, catch your breath, because on August 11th, we have another eclipse in the sign of Leo. But overall, August is a much better month than July, with a little less drama, even though we do have the sixth planet going retrograde in a couple of days. So I know.
This roller coaster ride you're letting me be a part of is frustrating. But I get it. I totally get it.
So we are going to have a record of 6 planets retrograde in a couple of days. We have 5 retrograde right now.
Heaven's sakes.
I know.
It's the entire solar system.
I know.
How many more can we throw in there?
I don't know. I kind of think that maybe a couple of them said, I'm tired. I'm going to stop at the planet rest area. And then everyone else said, hey, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, I'll join you.
Oh, I'm coming.
Yeah, there's a party.
What are you having, creamsicles?
A celestial party.
That's for all of us, right?
Okay.
So right now, I mean, I could go through the list of the ones retrograde, but it might be easier just to tell you which ones are direct, which are Jupiter and Venus.
Thanks. Shorten it up just a little bit for us. Thanks.
When planets are retrograde, I can't even say it now, things do slow down, and that can be a good thing. Because don't you sometimes feel like life is blasting your face like you're on a roller coaster, right? So when things slow down, it teaches us to act more thoughtfully and be better humans in general. And we could sure use that. Every cloud has a silver lining. So like I said, do pay a little bit of attention to Venus. She's the goddess of love. She's moving into Libra, her ruling sign, on August 6th. And that is great news because Venus loves being in Libra. This is when Venus, your love life, gets crystal clear about what she wants. And this is also your heart energy. And this is where she can exercise her charm with self-confidence and purpose. And Venus will spend a pretty long time in Libra due to the fact that she goes retrograde October 4th. Yeah, I did say she is going retrograde, but by then other planets will have gone direct. So Venus will also go back into Libra from November 1st to December 3rd, so she will spend more than 2 months in her beautiful sign of Libra. So this could be a big transit for many of you with the goddess of love, making it all clear now. And, you know, if you're in a relationship and you're wondering, and, you know, remember that love begins with self-love. We begin here with our own heart and our own self, and then we go out. And then relationships, to me, are the very best reflection of how you're doing. And they can be challenging, but it could be a good transit for many people. On August 7th, Venus in Libra is triune Mars in Aquarius. And in the same day, Uranus goes retrograde. So Venus, Mars, and Uranus will have a very interesting triangle relationship in the second half of the year. These transits will initially bring disruptions, but please hear me. A disruption doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. If you're going in the wrong direction, don't you want to find out that maybe if you just adjust a little bit, maybe if you love a little bit more, maybe if you take a look and be honest with yourself and become clear, you could go in a direction of freedom and authenticity in relationships. On August 17th, Venus will become the beautiful evening star. And the full moon on August 26th is gentle and healing and very different from the energy that we're in right now. The retrograde eclipse season continues until August 27th, and by then, I hope you can simply pat yourself on the back for making it through 2 months of amazing growth. And speaking of growth, today my special guest is Dr. Amit Goswami, PhD. He's an author of many books, a quantum activist, and a retired full professor from the University of Oregon's Department of Physics. Dr. Amit Goswami's life work has been to successfully integrate science and spirituality, applying the principles of quantum physics in proving that consciousness, not matter, is the ground of all being. And so we're going to talk today about his new ambitious venture, Quantum Activism Vishwalayam, a global transformational educational program integrating science and spirituality. Welcome to the show, Dr. Goswami. It is such an honor to have you here.
The honor is all mine, Loretta. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I listen to your voice and feel like I'm getting more intelligent already.
What a nice thing to say. But you know, I propose myself to combine intellect with the heart.
Yeah.
So I hear you, and Venus being in Libra is very welcome news for people of the heart, and I am a person of the heart.
Oh, that's a beautiful statement. A person of the heart. I'm going to add that into your bio. Dr. Goswami, can you tell us what is quantum activism, and how does it differ from just, an activist?
Yeah, the main difference, of course, I will first state the difference and then dwell on the quantum. Usual activism is activism where you try to change the world, but you don't bother about changing yourself. You don't bother about being an exemplar. Quantum activism is different. It's an activism to transform the human being itself. It's not about outer things. You know, the fact is that things are today being many things are wrong, no question, and we are blaming others and we protest, and that kind of activism we are familiar with. But we never look at ourselves. It's our behavior, collective behavior, that has gone awry. And much of it is due to the wrong worldviews that we follow. Partly it is the scientific worldview, materialism it's called, matter is everything, that gets rid of the values, that gets rid of any idea of spirituality. Even creativity, meaning, feeling, these things are discounted. They come in sort of backdoor, but discounted. And then there is the religious worldview with so much baggage which just does not make any sense to the scientific mind of today, that it is very hard for serious people to take religion seriously, and the practitioners themselves don't, of course, and this is why problems. So quantum worldview is the new worldview that is coming in. It starts with a very, very simple premise to understand. Objects are waves of possibility, and obviously possibility cannot reside in space and time. We only find actualities with what we experience. So there must be another domain of reality. And this domain of reality was predicted to have unity. Unity meaning signal-less communication at once. This instantaneous communication between components mean only one thing, that there is only oneness. All parts are one because they are communicating instantly, and therefore there is no separateness. So this idea of oneness is what spirituality is about. This is what Jesus talked about. This is what Buddha talked about. This is what the rishis of the Upanishad, the rishis of the Kabbalah, they all talked about this. This oneness defines spirituality. In this way, quantum physics automatically, without any debate, because this oneness has been experimentally verified, without any debate, accepts the fact that science and spirituality has one common origin. Therefore, they can be integrated and they must be integrated because our being requires both. So this idea, if taken further, shows us that it is not only just conditioning that rules us. This is the part that is Newtonian. We become kind of determined. But there is also creativity because there is always new potentiality and we have the ability to manifest new potentiality through creative process. So this idea dawns, once this idea dawns, then we can squarely say this, that look, don't be disheartened that we have done things according to our conditioning and got the planet this way and all these problems have arisen. But don't be disheartened because it is also within our power to change, to make changes and make changes quickly. Crisis is an indication that we have to make changes quickly. And the theory is also telling us very strongly that only a small portion of people need to change. How small, I don't know, but 10 to 15% should be adequate. And data is suggesting that about 15% people now are interested in making change. This is why I thought it is very appropriate to give people the vehicle with which to change, which is quantum worldview, the idea of quantum activism, that as we ask people, other people to change, we must also ourselves change. Quantum principles help us to change. It's no longer a difficult thing, no longer a question of how do I do it. We know how to do it, and we'll help you how to do it. This is why this quantum activism will teach you how to transform.
I love what you said. You know, when we look around the world, you know, there are, I mean, I agree with you. I think we're in a state of crisis when we take a look at our economic and political scene and even in our personal lives. This idea that we need to make changes, and there's a lot of hope in what you just said. The idea that just a small percentage, maybe 10 to 15, you don't know for sure, need to make these changes will change everything. And I'm assuming that is through the concept of quantum physics, you know, this connection we all have. It's a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When you talk about the changes that need to be made, can you tell us what are those changes, and does this this university, this for transformative education, maybe that's where we should go. Can you tell me more about this, what it is that you're setting up and how it works and who comes to it?
Well, okay, but let me actually, Loretta, if you don't mind, I will address your first question first and then go into the details of the university.
Please do.
Because the university will make more sense if we talk about what needs to change.
Okay.
We have some. There are four serious challenges. The first serious challenge is something that is given to us by evolution. It is part of us, brain circuits of negative emotion, anger, violence, competitiveness, domination. These things are built into us. Based on this domination is why we battle with others, we establish territories, and we fight with each other, dog eat dog way. And this obviously is not sustainable. If we continue to do that, if we don't cooperate, this is just common knowledge. I'm just stating it once again because right now this negativity is on the rise in America and some other places too. So the first question of transformation is that can we change the negative emotional brain circuits? Well, we cannot change them. They're part of us. It is hardware. It is very difficult to change. But we can build positive emotional brain circuits by invoking the heart, as you were mentioning earlier, and other ways, which now we have discovered how to do that, how to make positive emotional brain circuits through creativity, through awakening the heart, and this will balance the negative emotions. Although the negative emotions will still arise, but they will not completely subsume us. We do not have to fold under them and act like we are zombies with negative emotions. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we have become information junkies. This IT revolution, much touted at one point, information superhighway, this is killing the young people's search for meaning and purpose of life, has made them into basically information processors. Information is other people's meaning. So a few people, if we become like this, a few people give us the meanings and rest of us have to follow. This is not the way to run democracy. This is not the way we can even do capitalism. This is just not the way, because most of us then become determined machines which are being dictated to by other people and manipulated. This is the reason so much rise of elitism in both economy and politics. So this got to go. This has to change. How to change it? It's just bringing back just the original values that always have been the basic runner, basic inspiration in America. Meaning and purpose. Purpose comes from the archetypes: love, beauty, justice, truth. These are the things that we investigate. And that investigation gives us purpose. Wholeness is a major one. Goodness is a major one. So that's the second one. The third one is me-centeredness. This one is a hard one. This is part of the brain. Brain mechanism produces an intense me-centeredness, and we become unaware of the fact that we are co-created with the objects of the world from consciousness. If we try to discover who am I, that's the standard spiritual search. And but today's people, of course, cannot be motivated to do that. That's very arduous work. But they can be motivated to meditate, because that helps us, our health itself. And they can be motivated to be creative, to do things in the world to find meaning and purpose. Therefore, we don't really have to be this me-centered. What is in it for me? Transactional exchanges, the basis of everything. We don't really have to live that way. I mean, it is as simple as that. The fourth thing is that the scientific materialism has really robbed us of putting validity to our internal experiences. We need these internal experiences like thinking, feeling, intuition to change. And not having them in our science, not having them as scientifically valid, has really created a lot of confusion. Now with the new science, we are validating feeling. We now have a mechanism. We understand what feeling is about. It's about the movement of the software that runs the hardware of the organs of the physical body. What does the software come from? Software comes from what I call liturgical field. The earlier name was morphogenetic field, the name given by Rupert Sheldrake. This is a very major finding, that finding what we really feel. We feel vital energies. And this vital energy technology is coming in both health and healing and also other affairs. And this technology can become the future technology that will be much more exciting than cell phones, because these energies are transformative. These energies, literally what I'm talking about is, Teilhard de Chardin said almost a century ago something very interesting, that someday when we have manifested all the energies like coal and wind and all this, maybe we'll learn to harness the energies of love. And this is really what the revalidating vital energies to science is doing to us. We really can say that we are finally ready to manifest and make an economy where energies of love will be exchanged, will be deployed. So those are the 4 different ways that we can start changing, and creativity is the common method. So this is what we are going to teach in this new university. We teach the worldview, quantum worldview, that involves the basic quantum principles. One principle I already have mentioned, the signal-less communication, oneness. Technically, it's called non-locality. Creativity depends on quantum leaps, discontinuous jumps, not going through the intermediate space like electrons do when they jump from one atomic orbit to another one, quantum leaps. And the third principle is a new principle of relationship. Relationships have traditionally been hierarchical, simple hierarchy. One level governing the other level. Father knows best. The children don't have any right to give feedback. This got to change. The quantum worldview suggests tangled hierarchy. Not that it eliminates simple hierarchy. Some places simple hierarchy is necessary, just as non-locality doesn't mean we eliminate local communication, or discontinuous quantum leaps does not mean that we forget about operations that are continuous. It's the additional thing. We have to remember that both are important. Yes, simple hierarchy is important when you are trying to get something done and you are the leader and the followers have to follow you. But there are other situations where, like relationship, why does love fail between people? Because we tend to become simple hierarchical, whereas love demands a tangled hierarchy, a two-way relationship. So this is the kind of thing, when we become aware that the worldview is suggesting it, this is the kind of thing that we can cultivate through creativity, develop through creativity, and really change ourselves to become not only a transformed person ourselves, but an example for the rest of the planet to follow.
That is very well explained. Thank you. We are going to take a station break. This is Loretta Brown. My guest today is Amit Goswami, PhD, quantum activist, and we're talking about his quantum activism, Vishwalayam, a university for transformative education. And also he kind of shared his vision, I think it's a vision, of where it is that we need to go in our change. Anyway, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Energy is powerful. It's all around us, mysterious, full of potential. Directing positive, healing energy to raise your vibrational rate through Reiki can change your life. Reiki Master Loretta Brown has relieved stress, sadness, anger, and even helped clients lose weight, stop smoking, and end sleep disorders. Worldwide, people have sought out Reiki Oasis. If you want help with your dis-ease, visit ReikiOasis.com. Harness life's energy. Visit ReikiOasis.com today.
When you look at me, you might see
my tremor,
my lack of facial expression,
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But you may not see that I have trouble sleeping,
that no two treatment plans are the same.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37, earlier than most.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete, someone who is still dancing.
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
and every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
For education,
For community,
For support,
Look closer.
and you'll see
my resolve
My determination
my spirit
is
unshakable. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Having trouble picking up the Alternative Talk 1150 signal? Well, whether you live in Portugal or Puyallup, Tasmania or Tacoma, India or Issaquah, you can get Alternative Talk 1150 programming streamed live on your computer via our website, 1150kknw.com. It's true, just visit 1150kknw.com and click on the Listen Live button. Make sure you have an audio player installed that will play streaming MP3 audio such as Winamp, iTunes, or current versions of Real Player or Windows Player. Visit our website for more details. Remember, that's 1150kknw.com.
Let angels and Reiki and the search for mystical knowledge become a regular part of your routine Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. Loretta Brown, owner of Reiki Oasis, Reiki Master Teacher, an angel messenger, and healing musician, all wrapped into one as she uses her voice to share knowledge of great mysteries, energetic laws, and messages of love from the divine. Join her and her show every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. to open your heart and heal your soul. Visit ReikiOasis.com for more information about her show.
Radio with no added hormones or preservatives. All natural alternative talk, 1150 a.m.
Welcome back to the original Loretta Brown Show with my guest, Amit Goswami, PhD, quantum activist. And we're going to open the lines for callers. If you would like to have the opportunity to ask Dr. Goswami a question, I would take it if I was you. The number here at the radio station is 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-5569. And I am thrilled with our conversation with Dr. Goswami today, talking about quantum activation, Vishwalayam, and his University for Transformative Education, which is tied in with what I think is a vision of the world that we really need to head towards. So, like I said, call in with your questions for Dr. Goswami, 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-5569. A rare opportunity to speak with a man of great sensitivity and awareness. So give it, don't be afraid to dial. It doesn't hurt, and it's really quite fun. Dr. Goswami, just before the break, you laid out such a clear basis of the serious challenges that we're facing on our planet today. And I guess I would, I was trying to figure out where to go from there. I look around the world and I say, there's so much change that needs to happen. And I think you brought it right into, as I would say, the heart of the matter, that the change begins on the inside of ourselves.
Yeah, I think that what one has to realize that we need new leaders. The leaders have lost their way. They have become lost in the search of power for themselves, search for abundance for themselves. So the business leader tries to be rich at all costs at the exclusion of everybody else. And same thing for political power. Democracy is about sharing power. Democracy is about we elect you and you empower us because, of course, we elect you to act as that for that empowerment. We need to be empowered by you in order to join in the celebration of democracy. But this empowering people has completely disappeared from the vocabulary of politicians. They just try to perpetuate their own power. And similarly for business people, these corporations go on and make huge amounts of money. People are at the elite, 1% or less than 1% is holding most of the income of the country everywhere. This is not just America, everywhere. So this elitism is what gave rise to French Revolution, American Revolution, all these things so many years ago. Do we want to go back to the chaos of those times? Serious people are already warning us about this. So politics and economics just cannot go on like it is going on. Trump is just a temporary phenomenon, but it is more than Trump. This is what people have to recognize. Democrats are blaming everybody, everything that is wrong with our country on Trump. That is not right either. It is not that. It is that some basic things like those 4 things that I mentioned about the human condition, we are not addressing them, partly because of old, worn-out worldview, and partly because our own reluctance. How do we change? We didn't know about the creative process. Most people still don't know that there is a creative process that you can follow, and it makes change so much easier. I had to learn it all in my life, but even then, I started in my 40s. Now I'm 82, but I have made the changes to a substantial amount, and can say truly that if you know the process, it's much, much easier. I wish I did, because then I could have made the same changes in 5 to 10 years. So, and this is what people don't realize. All you have to do is to be sincere, ask the right questions, and engage the creative process. And you will have the transformation that you need for yourself and for the world. What better future can we imagine that we can educate ourselves to change? That's fantastic.
The creative process. What a beautiful thing to say. And so many people come to me and they do talk about what you just covered, which is what's going on with the world. Have we all gone crazy, right? And this idea that, because I can feel it from you, I think more than anything, is that being sincere, asking the right questions, engaging your own creative process. A lot of people don't feel like they're necessarily creative.
Yeah, that's the thing, because we have created the mythology that creativity is only for the talented artist and the talented musician or the talented scientist at best. This is wrong. Anyone can be creative. We all have the same potentiality we share. This is the basis of democracy, but people just don't believe it. Yes, all people are created with equal potentiality. There's no doubt about it. Quantum physics absolutely guarantees that. The potentiality for creativity is available to every one of us. Of course, we don't get equal opportunity, and that's where we have to work harder to create equal opportunity. This is where that empowerment of the people who don't have the opportunity that comes in. And that has to happen. But this educational plan is a kind of empowerment. We are saying that you have the power, you have the process, we know the process now, something that you already mentioned. In fact, in your show earlier, Loretta, you're talking about how you wait for incubation after you initially prepared about a problem. That incubation is the basis. I call the process do, be, do, be, do. If you just do alternative do and be, preparation and incubation alternatively, that's all we need to do in order to be creative. Then the insight comes. And after the insight comes, we get so energized, so enthused by it that we can manifest it in our being. That's how people change. It's not really hard. It's just a matter of making up your mind that yes, you can do it. You have the potentiality. Access it. We teach you how to access it. It's actually not so different from the spiritual traditions. It's just little more insight is helping us to practice it in a better way. It's basically meditation, but with some new twists which we needed to learn.
I love how you said that. So maybe it's my new T-shirt. Creativity is simply do, right?
It is true. It is true, Loretta. It's true. It is really just do.
I love that so much. I was also thinking when you were talking, I have this way of kind of taking all this to a practical level. When we were children, quite often, and I've had this experience where I was drawing a picture and thought it was just lovely, and somebody said, what is that? Or that's not how you do it. You do it this way, which is a little bit of a stifling of our creativity, or this idea that we somehow have to be a genius in order to draw a picture or create.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think we were born creative,
Absolutely. We are born creative. We are none of this in the creative process excludes anybody. As I said, the only thing that we need is that empowerment, feeling that we have the power. And that feeling comes, we know the mystery of that also. It comes from the knowledge of the way that energy is manifest in our body. It's the chakra psychology of the East. What is true of most people is that their navel chakra is all busy being narcissistic, serving the me, that navel chakra, and we don't develop the heart very much. When the navel and the heart are brought together, which in spiritual tradition we say male and the female have to be united together, when they are united, then we get empowered. So empowerment is simply a process of how to feel that gut feeling with strength, but combining with the heart, the tendency to include others. That's where we get empowered by the divine order of love. With love is excluded, then that empowerment does not serve neither our cause in the long run nor the cause of the collective in the long run. Short-term benefit is all you can get by being selfish. If we have to create something for us in the long run, then we have to go for these archetypal insights. Insight about love, insight about beauty, insight about justice, insight about truth, insight about abundance. All these things require us to consider the other as well. It was so beautiful when Benida reminded us that do take care of your neighbors when you are up and about. So beautiful, because that is all we have to remember, that when we take care of ourselves, we also take care of our neighbor. That other love combined with self-love, that's what empowers us to do good in the world, including self-transformation.
You know, so many people don't even know who their neighbors are.
I know. I know.
We don't talk to each other. You know, we used to borrow a cup of sugar or cube of butter from the neighbor, right? And then take them over brownies or something. I don't know if you should do that now, but it would help us to take our noses out of our technology and
it really would.
Yeah, and look up and look around, and I think many people are feeling isolated or separated or maybe even abandoned. You know,
because we have created this neighborhood on the internet, but it's just not the same thing because feelings are excluded. It's purely cerebral relationship that we have, and we write a lot of cerebral things, actually nonsense, because we only deal with other people's meanings, not our own meaning. So it has become a very, very mixed up culture. And to change that culture, we really have to make some effort. Unfortunately, our universities and schools and colleges are going in the opposite direction. They're so driven by the need for money because quantity has become much more important than quality, that everybody has forgotten about creativity.
You know, in my classes, I talk a lot about the chakras, and I love what you said about the union of the navel chakra with the heart. And I often, you know, show the chakras and say to people, you know, if you look at the bottom three chakras, you know, the first, second, and third, we're talking about money, sex, and power. And I think if we get stuck down in there, that's kind of maybe what, you know, a little bit oversimplification of what's going on. But bringing in the heart starts to lift all of that up.
Yeah, exactly. And that balancing is the beginning of transformation. So in much way, we talk about really awakening the heart in this transformational educational center. The heart is very important. You know, I'm right now writing a book called Science of the Heart because we have discovered that there is a self in the heart, which can be very good balancing to the self of the brain, which is more intellect-centered. The heart is feeling-centered. That feeling-centeredness has to enter our being, we have become too intellectual, and rational thinking can get us into both directions, complete opposite conclusions starting from opposite premises. We don't realize it. We think that what we deducted is the truth, but it is not true. Or another person can deduct from those same data, but starting with different assumptions, completely different conclusions. This is why Democrats differ from Republicans, and they don't realize that rational thinking is at fault. What we have to do is to give up complete uniqueness of rational thinking, but combine rational thinking with the heart, and then cooperation is possible. Then we can look at the other and also imagine ourselves in the other person's shoes and see what really needs to be done. Compromises that were impossible become very possible when we look at the other with love.
I love that. When we look at the other with love. Powerful, powerful statement. I want you to tell us a little bit about your university.
Right, about time. Okay, so we are offering 1-year certification right now, which will develop into a second year of master's degree next year, and then develop into a PhD program, which will be for another 2 to 3 years. This is the basic scheme. A 1-year certification program will already be the first year of the master's. So this already will be transformational. In fact, this will introduce the basic quantum worldview. I myself would be involved with teaching everything in the first year with the help of 2 associates. One is a wonderful medical doctor, Valentina Onisar, MD. She is also a doctor of naturopathy, many of the alternative medicines. So she is very, very knowledgeable on the health side. And I have Anil Sinha, who is a business entrepreneur, engineer by profession, but business entrepreneur as well, consultant, and he will help me with the business side of the teaching, because we are very, very practice-oriented. We not only will teach how to transform, but how to apply the transformation to especially those 2 areas, but society in general. 3 areas really: medicine, business and economics, and society in general. Those are the 3 areas of specialty that students can take. The plan is to begin proximity for 10 days. 31st August is starting this year to September 9, and the second one will be January 24 to February 3, January 25 to February 3. So, and we have a second batch coming in February as well. So we start this one. They will finish in September in June. The second batch will start in February. They will finish in sometime in the fall next year. In this way, we'll have a continuous ongoing student enrollment, so that nobody have to wait more than 4 months to get into our transformational school. And as I said, we'll open the PhD and the master's also next year. Except for the one thing very important: 10 days and 10 days. This is all the proximity that we feel you need, but this is a must. But rest of the courses will be online, and that's what makes our education so cheap. We are making it available. It's the cheapest tuition that is possible. Agreed that international students will have to pay some travel, but really the tuition is so cheap that you will be amazed. So if you look at my website, www.amitgoswami.org, amitgoswami.org, or if you look at the website of the Quantum Activism Mishalam directly, which is www.quantumactivism.org, QUANTUMACTIVISM.org. Any of these 2 websites will give you the complete information that is required to find out what we are about, get a copy of the catalog, and also all the information about the fee structures and the how you can enroll, how you can register. Remember again that the program is starting this August, 31st August to September 9, and again in January 25 to February 3, and rest of it will be on internet, 2 semesters, and all the courses will be personally taught by me. Basically, it is the introduction to quantum worldview and how quantum worldview solves the various problems of the world. It does. I claim that, and I show it in my books. You can read Quantum Economics, you can read The Quantum Doctor, you can read the book How Quantum Activism Can Save Civilization, you can read Quantum Creativity, you can read Physics of the Soul, which is a theory of reincarnation, which is a wonderful thing to know because it gets rid of fear of death forever. So all these wonderful and new books are being added. Right now, preparing a book called Quantum Spirituality, another one called Quantum Politics. All these books, even in manuscript form, will be available to you as textbooks when you come to us and enroll. And I have very good associates to teach with me, Ramona Onisar, MD, and Anil Sinha, an engineer. This is very, very good news. So please join us.
I love this. I've got a couple of clarifying questions. When people come for those 10 days in person, where is the school located?
I did that. Thank you, Loretta.
You're welcome.
Okay, it's Jaipur, India. Jaipur is a middle-level town of about 1 million to 2 million people in the whole area. So it is kind of big city like Seattle, but not bigger like Los Angeles or New York or anything. Or India, the big cities are very polluted. Jaipur is not polluted. It's a wonderful environment, and it is Jaipur, India. It's about 200 kilometers south of Delhi. So not very far from Delhi. The access is very, very easy. It has a wonderful airport, but the international students have to come to Delhi. Okay. But there is flights available from Delhi to Jaipur very easily.
I've been to Jaipur. I feel like I lived there. I had past life memory or something going on when I was there. Yeah, it's really great. I also want to bring out that your graduates, you're also building a community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. Absolutely. The best part of the education will be that the graduates can get to build their own quantum village according to their personal vision, combined with the totality of the quantum vision. We build this community from scratch. We are getting a land of 103 acres, and we are planning for about 500 families to settle there to make a big community. This is where we'll put the whole idea of this transformation that I was sharing earlier with you, that only a small number needs to change, that idea in practice. We are very, very pleased that this project will grow together. We are completely determined to develop both the educational program and the village program together, side by side, hand in hand, like a tangled hierarchy that I was talking about earlier.
And what makes this quantum village special? I'll throw the words deep ecology out there.
Yes, because this will be the first experiment with ecology and deep ecology. Ecological communities are developed all around the planet today, which is very good news already. But what Arne Naess, a Swedish great man, philosopher, taught us, deep ecology, we have to transform our mind. Otherwise, our engagement with shallow ecology itself is incomplete, because we cannot really take care of a tree unless we love the tree. We learn to love the tree. We learn to love the tree by learning to love, and that is deep ecology. So this whole conversation that we are having is really about deep ecology. But now, the work that we have to do is to apply deep ecology to the problems of the world. This is where shallow ecology will come in, and this is where the global community, the community that we are building, Quantum Village, that becomes important because it will also not only have the ecosystem, that idea, ecosystem being sustainable, that idea, but also sustainable business, vital energy technology, research that will take us to new ways to agriculture, because this vital energy is revolutionizing agriculture.
I love this. So this is Loretta Brown, and my guest today has been Amit Goswami, PhD, quantum activist, and he's talking about his quantum activism Vishwalayam, a university for transformative education. It is available for you to attend and to figure out how to be part of this new global quantum community and bring global quantum villages all over the place. Find out more at amitgoswami.org. And Dr. Goswami, thank you so much. I'm sorry we've ran out of time, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and really blessings to you and your beautiful work.
Thank you so much, Loretta.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk to everybody next week. Bye now.
The views expressed on this program are those of